Look at these giant white shells on the water. How did humans build such curvy roofs without them falling down today? Building this was a big puzzle. No one knew how to make these shapes stay up. It looks like giant orange peels. Long ago, an architect drew a beautiful dream. But the engineers cried because the math was too hard for the roofs. Why are curves so tricky? If a roof is too flat, it breaks. If it is too pointy, it falls over. The secret is hidden in a perfect sphere. Imagine cutting a big ball into many small, matching pieces for the roof. This is called spherical geometry. Every shell piece comes from the same ball. This makes the math much easier for everyone. Look closely at the skin. There are over 1 million tiles. They look white, but they are actually 2 different colors.
Why 2 colors? To make it glow. If it was just one white, it would hurt your eyes in sun.
The shells are held by strong concrete ribs. It is like a giant umbrella made of heavy stone. Can you imagine? Gravity wants to pull it down, but the curve pushes the weight sideways and into the ground. Science is very strong. Have you ever tried to balance an egg? These shells are like eggshells, but much bigger and made of heavy concrete. They used the first computers ever to calculate the math. These machines were as big as a whole room back then.
It took 14 years to finish. That is a very long time to build one house. Do you think it worth?
The glass walls are special too. They lean out so they do not reflect the sun back at the boats nearby. The roof is self-cleaning. When it rains, the dirt washes away because the tiles are very smooth and slippery like ice. But wait, what happens inside those giant shells? Is there a big empty space or something very heavy holding them up? The mystery goes deeper. Next time, we go inside. See you soon! The skeleton is strong, we need a skin. Ooh, but how to cover these giant curves with tiny tiles? We use over 1 million tiles from Sweden. They are special ceramic made to stay clean, even in salty sea air.
These tiles have a secret coating. It is smooth like glass, so dirt cannot stick. Rain washes the building for free.
Imagine gluing 1 million tiles one by one on a steep roof. That would take forever and be very dangerous. Utsan had a better idea. He made giant tile trays on the ground, like building a puzzle before putting it up. These trays are the Lego pieces of Sydney. We precast them with concrete. No falling. Look, it's stuck forever. There are over 4,000 trays. Every tray has a different shape because the roof curves in every direction. Math is everywhere. Look at the colors. Some tiles are glossy white, and some are matte buff. This makes the building look alive. If all were glossy, it would blind the pilots. If all were matte, it would look dull. It is a perfect balance.
The trays are bolted to the concrete ribs. They leave a small gap for air to flow. The building can breathe.
This gap also helps with heat. The concrete stays cool even when the sun is very hot. Science protects the house.
Do you know the orange peel trick? Utsan used it to make sure every tile tray fits the giant sphere shape. Without this spherical geometry, making the trays would be impossible. Every piece would be a messy, broken shape. No good.
Building the trays took 3 years. It was a factory of dreams right next to the water. Everyone worked together.
Now the ceramic armor is complete. It looks like a giant sailing ship made of white stone. So beautiful and strong.
But wait, a house this big needs a way to stay cool inside. How do we air condition a giant shell? The answer is hidden in the cold water of the harbor. We use the sea to keep the music cool. Oh! Deep breath. In the next chapter, we go under the floor to find the secret cooling machines. Let's go! We are going deep under the floor. It is dark and chilly here. Can you hear the giant machines humming?
This building is huge. Keeping it cool in the hot sun is a giant problem, but the solution is right outside.
The secret is the ocean. We suck in cold water from the Sydney Harbor. It is like a giant straw for the building. Why use salt water? Because it is always cold and it is free. Science loves to use what nature gives us.
The cold water travels through 35 kilometers of pipes. That is longer than a marathon race. Can you believe that?
We use a heat exchanger. The cold seawater cools down the fresh water inside the building's pipes. They never mix.
This is very smart. No big, noisy fans on the roof to ruin the beautiful shells. The cooling is silent and hidden.
But salt water is mean to metal. It makes things rust very fast. We have to use special materials to stay safe. The water goes back to the harbor. It is a little warmer now. Fish love to hang out here. This system was built in the 1960s. It was way ahead of its time. Modern buildings are just starting to copy us. Now the air is perfect for the music. If it is too humid, the giant wooden organs might go out of tune. Wait, how does sound travel in here? The shells are curved, so the sound might bounce like a crazy rubber ball. This is a big problem for music. We need to catch the sound waves and send them to the people's ears. Look up! Do you see those giant rings? They are not just for light. They are secret sound clouds for the stage. They are made of special wood to reflect the music. Without them, the singer would sound very, very tiny and far away.
Sydney is more than just a pretty roof. It is a giant machine that breathes, cools, and sings with science.
But what about the glass? Those giant walls look very thin. Oh! What if a big storm comes from the sea? Is the glass strong enough to hold back the wind? Next time, we test the strength of the invisible walls. Look at these giant glass walls. They look so thin and fragile like a soap bubble, but they are actually super strong.
The wind from the sea is very angry. It pushes and pulls at the glass with huge power. Why does it not break?
This is not normal window glass. It is a special sandwich called laminated glass. 2 layers of glass with plastic inside. If a big rock hits it, the glass cracks but stays together. The plastic holds the pieces like a sticky spider web. Look at the angle. The glass leans out at 15 degrees. It is not straight up and down. Do you know why?
The tilt is for the wind. When the storm hits, the angle helps the wind slide over the building instead of hitting hard.
Also, the tilt stops reflections. People inside can see the beautiful harbor without seeing their own faces in the window. Smart design. The glass is held by steel mullions. They are like the bones for the glass skin. They flex a little bit in the wind. If the bones were too stiff, they would snap. Science says we must be flexible to stay strong in a big storm. There are 2,000 panes of glass. Whoa. Every piece was made in France and shipped to Australia. Whoa. Not one piece was broken. The glass color is topaz. It is a little bit brown to keep the sun's heat outside. The building stays cool inside. But how do they clean these giant windows? They are so high and slanted. You cannot use a normal ladder. Special climbers use ropes and pulleys. They look like spiders crawling on the glass. They are very brave and very fast.
The glass walls connect the heavy concrete to the light air. It makes the building feel like it is floating on the harbor.
Hudson wanted the glass to look like curtains hanging from the shells. He studied how light moves through crystals to get it right. But we have one more big secret. How does the whole building stay together for 50 years without falling into the salt water?
The ocean is trying to eat the building. Next time, the final chapter, the battle against the sea. See ya! The ocean is beautiful, but it hides a secret enemy. Salt is trying to eat the building from the inside.
How do we fight an invisible enemy? We use robot friends. They crawl on the shells where humans cannot reach.
These robots use ultrasound sensors. They listen to the concrete to find tiny cracks or hidden rust inside the ribs.
Aha! I found them!
Wow, look! The robot listens to the wall. It finds the hidden cracks inside. That's so cool.
If salt touches the steel bones, it is bad news. But science helps us fix it before it breaks. We are like doctors. I fix it.
Now look at the night sky. Yay! The shells turn into a giant movie screen. This is the magic of Vivid Sydney. Down.
We use giant laser projectors from across the water.
They shoot light very so every accurate. Does the heat hurt the tiles? No. Laser light is cold and safe. The Swedish ceramic skin stays perfect and shiny.
Long ago, people were very angry about the cost. It was way over budget. Some called it a monstrous mistake.
But Utsan never gave up on his dream. He showed the world that impossible shapes can become real with math. Today, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That means it is a treasure for the whole human race forever. It changed how we build everything. Now, buildings can be any shape we can imagine. Curves are the new straight. The Opera House is like a teacher. It teaches us about geometry, materials, and never saying, we have traveled from the Roman Pantheon to modern robots. Science connects the past to our amazing, bright future. Remember the orange peel? It was the key to everything. Simple ideas can change the whole world forever. So next time you see a curvy building, think about the robots and the lasers keeping it alive. I hope you loved our trip to Sydney. Oh! There are so many more science mysteries waiting for us. Thank you for learning with me. Science is a big adventure. And you are a great scientist, too.